Hi, everybody. My name is Izabela Vidovic. I am one of the leading producers with Almost Normal Productions, and I am here today with Maiara Walsh, who is not only a dear friend, but also my co-star on our latest film, The Accursed. So welcome, Maiara.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Everybody, in case you didn't know, I think this is kind of a fun fact. Maiara and I actually worked together like eight years ago, was it?
Yes, that.
8 years ago. Maybe
Wow.
longer. That's weird. That's
How,
wild.
how old were you when we first worked together? Because you were young.
I was a baby. Yeah, I think I was that maybe would have made me 12 or 13.
My gosh.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's weird. So, here we are.
Yeah.
Uh, and now we did a horror film together. So I'm really excited to have you on. And I did this with George last week. It was fun because I asked him some like kind of silly questions about the film that are not super horror, but I think they're fun. One of the questions I asked him was if somebody on set made him break character most often, and I don't know if that applies to you. I don't remember you breaking much,
Yeah,
but
never breaking much. Because I remember just laughing a lot in between takes or in between scenes, just like
mhm,
jokes. I mean, I remember cracking jokes with Goran and George. I think you and me even laughed about some stuff. Oh,
probably.
and uh, yeah, and at the wedding, too, I think I remember just having like silly conversations.
Probably because the whole cast, that's what George was saying, because the whole cast was there.
Yeah,
And every
exactly.
time you have like your ensemble together, it's just bound to be like a lot of fun or not, but thankfully.
So thankfully, we all got along.
Exactly. So I really liked that. That was like a 3 day long shoot, I think, for those.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah, no, I broke the most with George. I don't think anybody else really broke. He's hard to do scenes with. He's
And
funny.
because all of your scenes are so serious, Tim, so I love we're breaking in these really serious moments.
Yeah, there's actually a point in the wedding, like when we're getting married, where I asked Catherine and Elizabeth, I'm like, why did you use that take? Because I'm literally like cracking up and I'm not supposed to be laughing. Anyways, wait, this is my favorite question. I'm gonna jump into this one. What do you think Zara would eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
So I was thinking, okay, so I think I've got breakfast figured out. Like I think her mom and like they eat like a very Eastern European breakfast, but I did think coffee. Like I feel like she's like a 2 cup of coffee kind of gal, like big cup in the morning and then big cup in the afternoon. Because Zara is very like high energy, very focused on different things.
This
So
is true.
yes,
Okay.
I don't actually know what she would eat for like lunch and dinner. Maybe dinner would be like another home cooked meal. I feel like Zara can cook. I feel like her mom
I
cook.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But remember the kukuruza.
that's right. Exactly.
The kukuruza. So I think she would eat that at some point in the day.
Absolutely.
Not that
Absolutely.
she's like my character. I mean, not to overstep. That's funny. Yeah, I don't really know what Sunny would eat, so I haven't asked myself that question.
Didn't you? That's not fair. You can't like ask things that you can't.
I don't know. Like, I don't know I mean, what would she eat? Like, she's such a weird character. Like, she just kind of shows up pretending like she doesn't know anything, but she does, you know?
Yeah,
Not that I
maybe
should have said that, but keep it on the DL. Maybe we'll have other people get back to us on what they think.
used.
Yeah, I know.
That's
She just doesn't eat.
something weird. No.
Oh, and then if you could be any character in the film, like male or female aside,
So
that
I would
wasn't Zada,
think like Aisha's the ghost, right? The yeah. So I loved how she was so creepy.
you would be Aisha.
Yeah, Aisha, exactly. Because like a funny story. When I was younger and I first saw Ring, and like you know how she's like
Yeah.
weird over her face, and I remember I could play that. Like I would love to like,
That's who you resonated
that.
with.
It wasn't about resonating with. It's just like, oh, I've been played that creepy.
That's the best like that's the best answer I think I'll ever get. Like I don't think I've ever had anybody say I would play the really creepy ghost. I love that. I could just see little Maiara like watching The Ring and being like, that could be me.
I would creep out my friends like we were all hanging out, and I would just kind of crawl in from the ground with my hair all over my face. They'd be like, Maiara, you have to stop doing that. That's like really scary.
Have you done that for Halloween?
No, it's a good one though. I think I should probably do it.
Samara, was that her name?
Yes. Her.
Samara, yeah, I could see that. Long hair.
Yeah.
You got to go for it now. I'll hold you to it.
The fun part of like acting though, right, is like being someone who's so like playing characters who are so opposite who you are. That's
true. I don't know. I don't think I've ever wanted to play like I don't think as a kid I ever watched and went, that's who I'm gonna play. But I did. I get what you mean. Now I do.
Yeah. Who would you play?
Oh, in the film?
Yeah.
I answered this last week, I think. And now this is going to sound bad because I don't remember my answer. As if like I'm not consistent. I think I said Zada.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I said Zada because it's, she's a light. Like she's fun. She's very different than Sunny. I told George last week I was originally attached to play Aisha before she became the form that she is now.
Right. Yeah.
That would have been funny. We could do the Accursed too. Oh, anyways, I don't want to spoil too much because that makes sense if you've seen the film. But okay, if you could sum the film up in just one word, what word would you use?
I think I would go with guilt.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, because I feel like Yancey's character is living with such immense guilt, and her guilt has been following her and her family her entire life, and all that guilt comes to a head in the film.
Uh-huh. That's a great word. Do you think that your character, that Zada, has any guilt at any point?
I don't know if Zada is the kind of person who feels a ton of guilt. I think she's pretty sure of her choices. But I feel like an overarching theme we really are following like Yancey's
it's true
through this, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like in this kind of dysfunctional family, there's a lot of guilt with everyone in some sense.
I agree. For sure.
And your guilt as well, right?
Yeah.
Because it comes under, slightly false pretenses, but is like also falling in love and in love with this person.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And how that kind of creates a tangled web and makes things messier than she intended. Because you can't predict where love's going to take you.
Oh, I know.
Did you have a favorite scene in the film? Or for you, I guess, that you filmed.
Yeah, I loved shooting the wedding scene, like getting to sing. It was really fun learning a different language. I also loved kind of the breakfast scene because it was fun to kind of like play that familial, almost like brotherly, sisterly thing with George. And then
that was a great scene. We rehearsed that. Like, I remember that's why it kind of came out really familiar because we said the words a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So it felt good to watch it and see that familiarity translate and all of the little looks to everyone translate.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did too. I liked that. Those were some of my favorite moments in the film. By the way, for anybody joining newly, we're talking about our latest film, The Accursed. But yes, back to what you were saying, those were some of my favorite moments in the film, were the moments that were lighter, which were usually with Zada. And that kind of, I think those are often the best parts of horror films are those moments where there's levity. And you can take a breath.
Just terror, like
right.
Go, but when you kind of like layer it and have it in waves,
exactly,
kind of break before you're like diving straight back into.
I know. Well, then you exhaust your audience too. You know, like personally, I get exhausted when I watch things that are just too much of the same,
Yep,
especially
same
with
here.
drama, like really depressing films. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Crying more, and then you end and you like leave and you're just so depressed for like the next day.
Right, exactly. No, but did you have a least favorite scene in the film? Off that note?
I mean, I was trying to think about this and like, no, because I'm not, I mean, Zada's not in the film the entire time, so I actually had a lot of fun with the scenes that I did do. So
Hmm.
I have a least favorite.
That's fair. I mean, it's also a good thing sometimes
It
to
felt like a
not.
good experience. I enjoyed it. Um, yeah, what did you answer for that?
I don't know if I don't think I answered this one with George. I think we talked about, because his least favorite was like the one where at the end of the film, I'm not going to get into it, but he has to channel a different,
Yeah.
different sort of beast. And so that was his least favorite but it turned out better than he thought, which is
Yeah.
great.
Oh, good.
I don't know. That's a tough question, I think, too, because sometimes I don't have least favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, that one was a tough one for me. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to get back. I often don't answer my own questions, if you haven't noticed. Okay, well, stepping aside from the accursed then for a second, I've been doing these lives for a little bit with my fellow actors and actresses, and I've found that I rotate like these five topics that we at Almost Normal tend to talk about just in our inspirations and our films. And I've talked to different actors about this, and they all tend to choose the same one or two topics to want to talk about.
did they
And
choose
I
one
and
of
the
them?
topic, yeah, and the topic that you were kind of interested in like exploring today has been widely talked about, but mostly by females, like by actresses.
Makes a lot
Um,
of
which does make a lot of sense. Yeah. So on that note, what's been your experience like as an act, or I guess because you do behind the camera equally as much as you do in front, so asserting yourself in the workplace, like has it come naturally to you?
Yeah, so definitely not naturally to me. I was the kind of person who uh would never speak up about anything and like have an idea about something, but
Mm-hmm.
then not feel the confidence to actually uh, say something about it or be assertive. And that is something I have had to learn over years and years and years through trial and error, through, being kind of taken advantage of a lot because I was like too nice and I wouldn't speak up about things. And
Sure.
yeah, now I've gotten a lot better at just like at communication and like honestly communicating where I'm at, honestly communicating what I need. And I think in terms of being in such a collaborative industry, which is filmmaking, uh, the balance of like knowing when to speak up and also knowing when to let others speak is a great balance to learn. And
Yes.
exactly. And I think especially now as I'm filmmaking more and being a director on the director side, like I do need to be able to communicate what my vision is, to listen and be flexible and be open to what people bring into the table, but ultimately to stand true and clear to like what the ultimate goal. So
Yeah.
and I'm grateful that I went through what I went through because I think some people might look at people who have grown into their confidence and being assertive and be like, oh man, I could never be that way, or I could never do that. And it's like, no, you can, because I was literally the person who like had zero self-esteem.
Yeah,
And
that's so interesting you say that, because I would have never pegged you as somebody who would not have
oh yeah,
spoken up for themselves, because
yeah,
I feel like you give off like, well, like an appropriate confidence. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean? Not like an egoism, but just an appropriate level of like, I can speak for myself.
totally. And I had to grow into that for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I mean, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense. I think that, I think that as women too, that's why I was saying that a lot of, female actresses that I spoke with identified with this question, because I think just as women, even though things are changing and there's been a lot of progress in the industry, I think that just naturally as women growing up, whether you're in acting or in filmmaking or not at all, you just have this innate idea that if you assert yourself, you're going to come off as icy, you're going to come off as, bitchy, for lack of a better word, which, I've definitely experienced. Like, even I remember, like, in elementary school and in middle school and, like, growing up and saying certain things that I disagreed with, or, giving an opinion and being called, like, a bitch by fellow
Right.
classmates, and just kind of starting to cower and go, oh no, like, if I speak my mind, like, I'm
So
going to be viewed that way.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think that standing up for what we believe in, being honest, being authentic, like even if it's hard in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
de- better in the long run.
Mm-hmm. No, no, definitely. I agree. And I think that it is something that you tend to grow into. And not that, I mean, also not that men don't have these same like concerns and struggles. I mean, I think it's also just like a
Absolutely.
human struggle, which is just finding a balance and not cowering away from, speaking your mind.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that applies, I think, across board to all industries.
Definitely, because like you said, it's a human experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to piggyback on just the woman side of things, because yes, it's a human experience. Perhaps women, it's skewed a little bit more towards women, and definitely in this industry, especially as like, I was like acting, and then also wanted to be filmmaking and writing
Mm-hmm.
and music, and it was just everyone would always just like, oh, sweetie, like that's sweet, like maybe just choose one, or kind of like, like, oh, that's so cute, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, like screw that, it's not about that. Like I'm going to
No.
do all of these things, whether you believe I'm going to do them all or not,
Yeah,
but
exactly. And I think the best, I don't even know. I feel like the best come back to that is just to do it
yeah,
without trying to prove yourself. And
not about validation. It's not about proving. It's just like
yeah,
this is life. This is my life. This is what I choose, and I'm gonna do it till the end
yeah. Although it's hard because we all seek validation.
for sure.
It's hard to just be like, I don't care. I'll
That's
just do it for me.
human human need or human feeling.
Yeah, no, completely. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting because I feel like I've gotten this. I've only gotten one actress to say no. I've always been able to assert myself, and I was like, that's so admirable.
Well, I hope that for all actors and actresses in the future, moving
Yeah,
forward, like I think that would be an incredible place to get to.
absolutely. I'm like, that's amazing. Which means it's definitely. I think that means it's also out there.
Yeah. Hmm.
Which gives me hope.
Me
So.
too.
Yeah. Oh, I love chatting with you always. And we got to talk about the Accursed today.
Absolutely.
And everybody who's here, Maiara is fantastic in the Accursed as Zada, who is my personal favorite character. So, if that means
Well,
anything. Yeah, and the Accursed is available on iTunes, on VOD platforms, Amazon, Vudu, all the goods, and the link is in our bio if you want to check it out here at
that's
Almost Normal Productions. So, thank you so much, Maiara, for being here.
chatting with you. I'm sure we'll be hanging out soon.
Yes, yes. So, mwah, until then. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.